Hello. Hang on. Hang on a minute. Didn't know there was two people watching. And hello. So we're doing a live stream. Just bear with me so I can find you on here. I've been investing. I bought a tablet so I can do live streams a bit more easy in the future with Egil. So how are you today? Now I did find live streaming a little bit difficult, but normally I'll do it direct through the YouTube app on my mobile. But for some reason, if you don't have 1,000 subscribers now, you cannot live stream direct. So I am using an app called Streamlabs. So not used it before. Just bear with me whilst I find the stream on here, and then I can see if there's any comments coming through and how many people are actually watching. So as you know, I am Bragi. Just give me a quick second whilst I sort this. And I'm a Viking, of course, and this is Northworthy Sagas and Stories. So how are you finding the video quality? I am using the new indoor studio lights. So from the previous live stream we did a few months back, there should be a big improvement in the quality. So I'm just trying to find the stream. Spare rivers. Yes, Vikings didn't have tablets. Let's just get that out there straight away. We didn't have tablets. But how good and great tablets are. I got a malfunction. I just had a langseax fall over. Got a few swords here. Got Egil swords here. Got one fall over. Never mind. Stay. Bad swords. Alright. Just bear with me whilst I find the stream. I'm a bit slow at this. There we go. And then I can see if there's any comments. I know there's at least 2 people watching last time I looked. Let's have a look at the back of the screen. 3 people watching. So hello to the 3rd person. And how are you liking the videos we've been doing? I thought tonight I'll put out a bonus video for you. And that's on the infamous Viking poet Bragi Magnarsson the Old. And we are slowly developing and recording more saga content so we can make Fridays the kind of the day for sagas. So just bear with us. I very recently came up with an idea how to record making saga content a bit easier, because we do find it a little bit daunting. As you can imagine, some of the chapters in the sagas are very complicated. And if you're like myself or Egil, and you have to remember all of these information in each chapter, then it's a lot. So I kind of came up with the idea that we could record each chapter but do it by paragraph, and then I could edit them together to make a chapter. So we're going to try that very soon, and hopefully it will work. So it's very difficult to type and talk at the same time, as you can imagine. Here we go. 662 subs, so fantastic. Thank you very much, guys and girls, of course, for subscribing to us. Now let's see if I can find the live stream. So it's asking me to review a contract. Don't want to do that. Thank you very much. Go away. It's on here somewhere. Here we go. For watching now. So hello Thomas. I can see your comments now. I'll just give me a minute. Let me just pause this sound. So at work, so Cultic God says this, at work, we're just saying hi, watch the stream later, be amazing as usual. Well, we are an amazing channel, and such an unfound and undiscovered channel, I do think. But I often think to myself, it'd be nice to be a lot bigger, but I think you'd lose a lot of this personal interaction to a degree, and I hope we'll never do that. Even if we get 100,000 or 1 million subs, we'll always try to interact with all you guys, because we just love you all. You know, you make this channel. So the Lady Vamp, hi. Dragler, cheers guys. So Dragler is a guy that does a channel doing urbex. That's urban exploration. It's actually a good hobby to do, but do it safely. And we have my brother here, Njal Sigmundsson. Got to say, love the videos that have been uploaded lately. Very, very entertaining. Well, yes, I mean, yesterday's video, it was a folk tale, The Sweet Porridge, and we recorded that on Tuesday. So we can kind of fundamentally record a video and have it uploaded very quickly. I mean, we can do it on a day, and we have done. So, just go back. Problem is, it always logs me out too quickly. There will be a bit about such technology. And Thomas Dale says, hello everyone. Hello everyone. I'm just tweeting and sharing this. Yes, you can hear it making noises in the background as it tweets. And thinking about it, I've probably not got this on silent mode. There we go. So, do you have any questions? Anything related to the Vikings or any kind of further content you'd like to see us make in the future? We do have a lot planned. For the first time on Tuesday, we recorded a video on a battle, and that was the Battle of the Home, which took place in 800 AD. No, 799 on the 13th of December. So we're going to be recording some more battle series over the next couple of years. There's quite a few of them to go on. And we've also been thinking about perhaps we could possibly demonstrate on the war game table, because we do have next door as a war game room where I currently have a nice Celtic army out, which I'm working on. I do like dark ambient music. Oh yes, and there's something very nice about dark ambient music. I've been trying to get a bit of blue light in here. If we could have some way of having music in the background which is copyright free in the future, we will do. It all takes time developing a channel like this. But it's fun, and we've had a lot of fun so far, and we intend to have a lot more fun, so look at your comments. No, you're not doing urban exploration. Yeah. So what are you doing then? I've watched one or two of your videos. I'll have to have a deeper look at your channel so I can understand exactly what you're doing. The problem is sometimes there's never enough time of the day. And no doubt Thomas will be sharing this. Now tomorrow there will be a video out. I've not decided what it's going to be yet. It's going to be a historical video. I'll have to have a look. We've got quite a lot of historical videos building up. But there will be one out on Monday as well, a bonus historical video, and that will be about sword fittings, you know, the shapes, the top shape and the bottom shape, and how they're made and manufactured and what they're made out of. But I've got to edit that video, and I do intend to put a little bit of B-roll at the beginning. I've done an introduction video for that, and then Egil talks about the items themselves. So we've got lots of plans that way. Now I have been thinking about actually changing the folktale day from a Tuesday to a Monday and putting the second historical video to a Tuesday, but I'm not sure about that. For now I'm going to keep it as it is, and maybe in the summertime or autumn I may think about changing that over, because that will give us 2-day gap between the folktales and a 2-day gap between the historical videos. So let me just go back and find where I am on here. There we go. So we've got a comment here from Thomas Dale, and we do love reading your comments. And another reason why I bought this tablet is so that we can actually sit down and do some more comment reading videos. We found it very difficult in the past doing them, because it either meant collectively copying the comments over and printing them out, and if you ever watched a lot of the channel, you know that I hate printers. Printers are evil. They are the work of the devil, or Loki, as I like to call him. So now that we can read comments straight from this instead of under it, it's going to make life a lot more easier, because I do like the reading comment videos, and a lot of channels don't bother reading the comments. But I also thought about reading comments from other people's channels, because we don't often get controversial comments. We don't get troll comments, luckily. Every time we do, we're going to tell stories about trolls. They always end up suffering, trolls and the folk tales. Yes, go back to your bridges and your old ruins and caves. I've got to log back in again. Stop logging me out. So, yes, I've got to read the comments here. I like the idea of tabletop battle recreations. I would like to get involved with that somehow. The Saga rules may be good. We can share those videos with Sagas themselves. Well, yes, Thomas, please do get involved in that aspect of the channel, even behind the scenes, because it's going to take a bit of work to demonstrate the battle themselves. So I think if we've got two minds working on it, mine and yours, using collective resources I've got wargame wise, we should be able to do something very interesting. I really must put a longer times I don't get logged out of this so often. The perils of technology. This is watching the Vikings struggle with his tablet. The things you do on a live stream. We're trying again now. There we go. I've just been logged out too often. So, Growl Rickardson said, would love to know how you got into reenactment and where your passion for Viking history came from. Oh, well, I'll tell you that. So first of all, I was probably around about an age of a teenager. I was always into military things and war, and my mum got me and joined me up to a war game club. I was about 13 and I used to go every Wednesday. So I got into wargaming, and I think I was about 17 when me and my very old friend Sean decided to go to a wargame show in Sheffield. Sheffield, if you don't know, is just up north and it's very famous for steel. In fact, Sheffield knives are the best, one of the best. So me and my mate Sean, we got a lift, went to this wargame show. There was a bunch of American Civil War reenactors. I know we're going a long way around here, but we'll get there. So me and my mate Sean, we got talking to this guy. His name was Philip, and he was a Union guy. And we've heard about reenactment, but we never had a go at this time. And he invited us over a beer. He bought us a beer each. I remember that. And then we kind of joined up. And then I think within 2 weeks, I found myself in a place in Rochdale up north, in a scout hut with this couple I never met before called Linda and Jeff. They just joined up. And we had the uniform and the gun, and I think 2 weeks after that we was on our first battle. So that's how I got into reenactment. And I kind of stayed in the American Civil War scene for many, many years, and I'm still connected to it. But all throughout that time I was always interested in the Vikings. I did try to join the local group back in the mid-90s. In fact, I phoned up and left a message on Tyrkir's phone number, because at the time Tyrkir Thorkelson, well, he was in charge of recruitment of the local group, but he never got back to me. And then in 1999, I was at an international event. It was Kirby Hall, a most wonderful and spectacular battle I've ever been on. All the Kirby events were just wonderful, because there's like 5,000 reenactors there, and it was just big, and the beer was flowing. And I got talking to a guy called Gary. He was a Viking from Derby, and he invited me to come along to a training practice. So I said, all right, I'll come along, have a go at this, not knowing what I'm getting into, you know. And luckily at that time I'd moved to where I live now in the north of Derby, and they practiced just on my doorstep. So I went along not knowing what to expect, and they was all, oh, it's great to have an actual reenactor join rather than somebody completely new. So before I knew it, I had a spear in my hand, and I was being trained how to do combat. And then that progressed. Although I've always had an interest in Vikings, and that's never left me. For various reasons, I stopped doing Viking reenactment. You do, you know, sometimes the politics gets in the way, and I got back into Civil War again, but all in my mind I was thinking about Vikings, as I always was, and I got a nice collection of stuff. I didn't want to sell it, I had to think about what to do with it. And at that time I was thinking about, this was going back 2-3 years now, I thought about doing a YouTube channel. So I started off as a gamer. A lot of people do on the YouTube channel, was doing gaming. And at first I was just doing videos where I wasn't talking, because I was quite nervous and shy about talking on camera or off camera. But then I made a video where I did talk on camera, and I really enjoyed watching my video and listening to myself talk. And I thought, hey up, I'm quite funny. And then that kind of rolled and progressed. and I made a lot more content for that channel. That channel is called Red Devil Gaming MC. Apparently I'm infamous on Xbox, but that's another story. And all in the back of the mind, I kept thinking about this Viking channel, because I used to like going on YouTube and watching content. I better go back to the chat in a minute. And, you know, I used to watch content, but I struggled to find content which was good enough. I looked at Folktales, and I didn't quite want to watch Folktales with cartoons on the background. That's not really for me. I like to see the person in front of the camera, because by watching the person, hello, you get to know the individual, and then you get to build up that relationship, and I find that more fun than watching a cartoon. And then I kept on this thought, oh, there's a massive gap on YouTube where nobody's dressed up as a Viking. I'm doing it as a Viking would have done 1,000 or plus years ago. So that was when I invited Tirk here to come on the channel, and thankfully he came and said hello, that he would do it. And this is where we are now. You know, 2 years down the line, and we're still having lots of fun. So I hope that gives you a brief introduction to how I got into reenacting, and it is a great hobby to get into. So let's just go back to some of the comments. Oh yes, Thomas Dale says, the comments appear in the bottom right of the screen. Indeed they do. And Dragler unfortunately missed the stream with you on Celtic God. Well, it is on his channel, so go and check it out. It was a very good stream with Egil. And I definitely know that me and Egil are up for doing a stream with you Celtic together. So let us know, Celtic, when you see this, or I'll send you a message about it in the near future. And Thomas Dale says, he liked Thanksgiving a little too much. Oh yes, because we don't really practice Thanksgiving in the UK, but any excuse to have a beer is good for me. Now, another comment from Thomas Dale. Even if it's a video of painting up some section of Viking models, that'd be something. Oh yeah, we could do that in the future. I never have time to paint my figures. I've got too many of them. And Dragler, what does the painting on your shield mean? Well, nothing really. It's just, I've had this shield up a few years. I'm trying to think now how old this shield is. So this is probably about 15 years old, this shield. And I've always liked blue on the shield. But blue is also the most attractive colour for people. That is why on a lot of professional YouTube channels, they always use the colour blue. And we have tried to have a kind of a bluish tone in here. I do have 3 light bulbs with blue, but not quite powerful enough yet. But I am thinking about, I've got another shield to paint up. So I am thinking about doing red stripes. But I was thinking about letting the subscribers come up with a design as a competition perhaps, because we do have a shield to paint, and I've got at least 3 or 4 shields to make up over the next couple of years. And I think at some point we'll all demonstrate how to make an authentic shield, and then how to make a reenactment shield, because it's a pleasure to teach people things like this. And you know, knowledge is free and should always be free, in my opinion. Let's have a look at the stream, see if we're still healthy. Not long been recording 2 folktales earlier, and I thought I may as well do a live stream. Not done one for a while. Now I am hoping that very soon, because I have talked to Egil about this, because normally we meet on the Tuesday and film, and I kind of explained to him that it may be a good idea throughout the summer to meet twice in a week, probably a Tuesday and a Friday. Because then we can relax a little bit on the filming. I won't feel like I'm trying to cram a lot of filming in one day. Because on a good day, we can get 12 pieces of content out on a good day. But if I could slow down the filming, then I think we'll be able to fit in a regular live stream. But it probably will be in the afternoon. So let's just see where that goes. It's all down to really Egil. I mean, I would live stream more often with Egil, but it's down to Egil wanting to come along and be in a live stream. These things take time, as you know. Right, go back to chat. So, does anybody have any questions about Vikings or about the channel? Love to answer your question, and I hope in any way. Just thinking about this grove, if you ever need any patterns for leather bags, Viking wise, just let me know. I'm happy to provide patterns for people and information. After all, I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years, so you do gain a lot of information. You know, I can pretty much get a piece of leather, you know, like this, and I can nest in half a dozen designs and come up with some nice bags. I've got too much leather at the moment, but the problem with leather is you're thinking, well, you've got to decide very carefully what you're going to make out of it. But I'm definitely going to make a couple of jerkins, a bigger one than this, and probably a new one with longer sleeves perhaps, because I do like a good jerkin. Oh, that's a long pause of silence there. You get them now and again. I'm just looking at the comments. So, I've not really set aside anything to talk about tonight, really. It's just a hangout with Bragi. I shall see how it goes. I don't know how long the battery will last. Let's have a look at the battery. I do have a battery pack about 100%, so we're alright for a while. I think the longest live stream we did was, I think, 3 hours 45 minutes. So hopefully one day we'll break that and do like a 6-hour session with Egil on a live stream. And another thing I am going to try this summer live streaming is outside on our little front lawn. If I could live stream outside, then we're definitely going to live stream some combat. Would you guys like to see that? If I can get an internet signal at the beginning of the garden, you can't really see it where I point my finger, I think that could be possible. I think it could be quite fun to do a regular combat live stream, even it's just me and Egil just practicing a little bit. Now, to give you a heads up on the 25th vlog, I'm just working that earlier editing the video. Some days you can't speak, you know. So I'm hoping to get that out on Sunday, and that is a combat based vlog. So the 25th, combat based. And I know that we've already filmed the 26th and the 27th, so I need to film the 28th vlogs soon and try to get back and catch up with them and get them at least every other week published. But that would be good, I think. So I've got to go back. I just lost the live stream then. That's a bad Bragi. Must do better. I'll speak this one. Northworthy, Sagas and Stories. I'm just speaking into the tablet. I go. It's amazing technology. You know, you think about Star Trek when you used to watch it in the 90s and you saw people using these things and I used to think, oh man, it would be amazing if we had devices like that. And now look at us. So, you know, are we going to have devices in the next 10 years like in the Marvel movies where your screens are in the air? You know, you just can't imagine where technology is going to go. It's going to be amazing. Of course, we're only 4 subs away from having 666 subs. It's a bit spooky that, Thomas, eh? The subs of the beast. Oh, I'm back again, 2 watchers. I've got to pause it or else you're going to hear me. You don't want to listen to me. So just to read, oh, hello Tangi. Laughed out loud, Thomas. So I've got a question here from Thomas Dale. It says, what's a Viking's opinion of the chainmail bikini? Well, I never want to see chainmail bikini and Egil Thorsson in the same sentence in a video title, so please do not ask for that video. Nor do I never want to see in the video title Egil Thorsson wears a mankini. No, no, no. That can give you horrible nightmares. Although I'm sure Egil will look rather good in it. But I am thinking about doing some kind of clickbaity titles for the vlog, like Egil got pranked or Egil falls over. So I'm working on that, so just bear us in mind. Because I like trying new things. And of course we're only about, oh my lord, we're only 38 subs away until we release that embarrassing video where I'm singing a song. Yes, you've heard it probably not for the first time, but yes, I have actually sung in a video for the 700 milestone. Although I am also working on doing a second milestone for that, which is combat based. I know Egil will really love that. So Draglaw, so what's today's subject for the stream? Well, anything you want to talk about, really. I mean, I've not really set a plan. I mean, I can talk about most things Dark Ages. I'm a fountain of knowledge, even though, you know, I'm not highly educated, believe it or not. I'm mostly self-educated. I often find that's the best way. So we've got Celtic God back. Hello, Celtic. So if you are watching this, in the future, if you want to do a hangout with me and Egil together, let me know. We can sort that. I think it would be quite fun. And Celtic God says, quick break, can you stream until after I get home to be able to participate? Well, how many hours away is that? I could do a second live stream, but I am drinking beer. Of course, I'm English, I've got to drink beer. It's a national hobby of the English nation. As well as everybody should drink a bit of beer now and again, it's good for you. Thomas Dale, you could do a 12-hour stream session. Yes, we could do in the future. I think the limit is it 20 hours you can do a live stream for? So, thankfully, I got Streamlabs in here, so I wouldn't be able to live stream today. Thanks to YouTube upping the limit to 1,000 subs for direct streaming from the app. I mean, what's the point of that? I mean, come on YouTube, get it right. And we have still 4 people watching. Oh, I've got a question here from Tanji. It says, how are you, Bragi? With a purple heart. Well, I'm very well, thank you. In fact, I'm always okay. I'm always generally, when everybody asks me, I always say, oh, I'm great. I always am. I'm just one of these people who's always too happy. So, life's too short not to be happy. And Thomas Dale says, oh, Tanji says, yes, self-educated is the best. Laugh loud for me anyways. Well, I definitely agree with you. I certainly learned more than I did at school. Yeah, I'm in life university, you could say. And Thomas Dale says, I like the hangout of Celtic God with Egil. Yes, I thought it was very, very entertaining. And I thought Egil's voice came across very good as well. So, you get out of work in 5.5 hours. Well, what time is it now? Well, I'll be in bed by then. I hope. I might be in bed, but I might not be asleep. I'm a terrible sleeper. It makes you think, you know, how did Vikings cope with insomnia? I'd imagine they would have drunk more mead. I would have done. That's another idea for another video. Vikings and insomnia. And Tanji says, oh my god, me too. Happy, happy. What is your zodiac sign, Bragi? I'm a Taurus. Earth signs are happy. Well, I'm a Sagittarius. So, the hunter. But I got a bow, but it's down in the hallway. I was hoping to do some archery in the background one day and promise not to shoot Egil. Now, I tell you who I saw the other day. I bumped into Tiki, the former host in Derby, in town. So, he says hello to everybody, and one day he hopes to come back. But we'll see. But he's very well anyway, and he's very busy working. He looked good. So it's always good to see. I'm not seeing him for 17 months, so it's always nice to see your old mate. You could have sent me a text, but here's where it goes. I still love him. Still a good mate. So we've got praise hands there. So Tanji says, how do you make a Viking pillow? Well, I'd use a cloak. There we go. Yeah, one of these will do. Roll it up. Nice pillow. So, or you could use your leather bag. If you've got a leather bag, or like this. You could put something in that. Make a nice pillow. Plus, a leather pillow never gets hot. But there's nothing worse, I find, than a pillow heating up. Now, whoever invents the self-cold pillow that goes cold on demand is going to make a lot of money on this planet. In fact, all 9 worlds. Oh yes, Thomas Dale, you saw Turkey. Yay. Yes, I'm not the only person to see Turkey. Although, a lady who works for us, who's a carer, saw Turkey in December in fancy dress. I will say no more. So yes, he's very happy. So I did invite him back to the channel and said, you know, oh, great to see you back. You can be in 4K. But I just imagine you're going to be too busy. It's a shame really. So Tanji says, oh, a leather pillow never gets hot. I don't think they do. That's good to know. Thank you, Bragi. Oh, you're welcome. I'll have to test that out now just to make sure. Because I really do dislike having a hot pillow at night. So Thomas Dale, Dragler, the altered one is cool. Oh, it sure is. In fact, Celtic has a lot of very cool subs on this channel. And I very recently put him in our little sidebar as a recommended channel, and I am going to make that video soon where we're going to give some shout out to some channels. Although one of them was going to be Mega History, but by Mega History you're gone, so ups a daisy. So I hope to see you back if you get your channel sorted. But yeah, you do have to be very careful on YouTube not to break the contracts or say anything you shouldn't say. I mean, we do try to be family friendly. Although very recently I did think to myself, perhaps we should tell a folk tale and be allowed to swear. What do you think? I don't know whether I'm going to publish it on the actual main channel or put it on the Bragi Magnarsson channel, which has not really been started yet. But does it exist? It sounds like Turkey was partying, says Thomas Dale. Well, Turkey is well known for partying. And he is also very well known for being a heavy metal dude and a comic nerd. Oh yes, he must have thousands and thousands of comics. In fact, I've always said to him, you'd be great on a comic channel because his wealth of information is vast. And he has a great voice. You know, everybody loves a nice deep voice, if not a little bit loud. So Tanji says, what if you swear in Norse? Does that count? No, I don't think it does, because I don't think the algorithm will pick it up. I mean, swearing in a video is not a bad thing. In fact, there is a video on the channel where we do swear at the end. Because I say, I never swear, and I say a swear word, and it ends up with Egil saying arse at the end. That's not been published yet, I don't think. Yeah. But if you do swear in a video, this is my tip for swearing, just don't swear in the first couple of minutes. Because YouTube will demonetize a video that has swear in the first couple of minutes. They don't mind after that. You can drop the F-bomb many times you want. So Thomas Dale says, it sounds as if I may get on with Turkey. No, yeah, you will do. He is a very nice man, Turkey. You know, often me and Egil talk about this, although both Turkey and Egil have a bit of a past. And it's very sad. I'm kind of torn between two people here. And in my opinion, I'll just bash both the heads together and tell them to grow up. And I think, you know, to a degree they both have, but it's just very sad to see two very good friends no longer friends. And I think life's too short to fall out with old friends. But that's me. I'm very forgiving. Grove, he says, thank you so much, my brother. I will DM you later because I have a fair few meters of fence time waiting to be used. Oh yes, the most important thing about using leather is to make sure that you nest your patterns correctly on your leather and you maximise the most out of your leather. A lot of people will get a piece of leather, you know, for the first time, and they'll say, oh, I want a nice leather bag. Like this one, I made this one recently for Egil. It's a kind of a funky shoulder bag. So you think, oh, I want a nice shoulder bag. So you'll cut up, you get a pattern, you put it on, but they don't think about the rest of the leather and what you're going to do with it. So it is very important to really think about what you're going to make out your leather. But I'm more than happy to help and to advise, and I can give you dimensions of all the items I've made. Because if we don't share this knowledge, we're going to lose this knowledge. I'm not one of these people who say, oh, I'll charge you for knowledge. I'm never going to charge for knowledge. We're never going to have a membership on this channel. It's always going to be free for people to come and watch us. And one day we will do an international world tour where you can see us in person. Come have a beer with Bragi and Egil. I'd like that. So let's go back to the comments. Good Monday, Agierson. Granny porn is the best. Well, that's a very bad comment, and I think we need to hide you. So, goodbye. We do not want comments like that on our channel. I mean, I don't know what you're doing. You should really get a life and bother somebody else, and don't bother a Viking, because we remember these things. You know, you're definitely not going to Valhalla. Who'd like that, son? So that's how we deal with trolls on this channel. Oh yes. So, Dragler, what do you know about dwarf mythology? Not a great deal. I've read a few things about dwarf mythology from the Norse context, and we've been asked a few times to do some videos on that. I do find the old idea of dwarves fascinating, and you know, they seem to be very funny in the sagas. So, you know, must have a very good sense of humour, but also the craftsmanship from somebody interested in manufacturing. The ability the dwarves have to manufacture and make these wonderful magical items is just purely astonishing. So at some point we are going to cover all the aspects of mythology, and we are working on that. But it's not one of those videos I want to jump straight into, because I want it to be right and the information to be right. So just bear with us, and we will no doubt cover more subjects on the Norse side of things. We often talk to ourselves, and we do lack on that aspect. You know, we've got sagas in the title, but we don't often talk about the sagas. So we are trying to address that. It's just some days there's just too much stuff going on the channel for my brain to cope with. Oh yes, and that was a second troll. You're very lucky. I might troll you a little folk tale about a troll in a few minutes. Would you like a folk tale? I could tell you the one about Boots, who ate a match with a troll. It is a great tale. And of course, what happens to the troll? Oh, you'd have to wait to find out. I've been doing that a little bit more recently as well. You may notice this, Thomas, where I put a comment and I describe the folk tale, but I don't describe all of the folk tale. I kind of leave it mysterious so that you got to watch it to find out what happens. So I'm trying to hook people that way as well, in the various forms like Instagram and Twitter. So we are this year trying to pursue some of the social accounts we've got and not neglect them. Yeah, Growl says that will be fantastic, Bragi, thank you. No, you're always welcome. It's just a pleasure to help, and you know, we can make Vikings famous again. Well, they always have been famous, but let's not forget the Saxons and the Jutes and all the other people that all equally have a chance and the right to be known and talked about. Checking. Yes, Tanji said that's a beautiful bag. It sure is. I've actually engraved it around the edge with his name. And I said he can have it, basically. It's a bag I made some years ago. It's a good bag because you can get 3 bottles of wine in one of them as a reenactor. That's quite essential, especially if you like wine. Egil does. So we have a comment here from Tanji. Let's just see, here we go. But I'll have to watch it back. I need to go and eat and get ready for tonight's live. Thank you, Bragi, for this live. Big hugs and have a great weekend. Bye all, and bye dear Thomas. So goodbye Tanji, you have a lovely weekend wherever you may be in the States. I believe you are in the States. No, you're in Canada. Oh, bad Bragi. And well, just have a great weekend in Canada. I'd love to go there one day. And I'll send my your regards to Egil. And I did enjoy a little bit of your live stream the other night as well. So I didn't say goodbye, I was falling asleep. I was very tired last night. I think it was last night, wasn't it? Yeah. So. Oh yeah, so Dragler says make the Vergar famous again. Indeed. And there's so many aspects of that to talk about as well. So you just have to bear this in mind. But you know, we can't knock out all the content in one go, and we're here for the long term. So you know, we've got many years of having lots of fun on this channel ahead. I'm looking forward to it. Yes. So Tanji says yes. Laugh out loud. Yes, Canada. Thank you. Come over anytime. Thank you. And bye. So yes, one day we'll. I mean, I like to do a series where I take Egil abroad for new experiences. Because Egil's not travelled a lot, and you know, I've always felt sorry for Egil. This is why I got him on this channel, and it really has been an amazing benefit to his life. So, one thing I've been thinking about recently is at the end, when we say goodbye, I'm going to start using and support the channel, and you too can feed a Viking. In this case, a pair of Vikings. So Thomas Dale, follow up to Tanji's question, would Skald poets be the musicians of their day? Well, in a sense of entertainment, yes. I don't think a Skald poet would fundamentally play an instrument, like a lyre. I think there will be people in the longhouse already having the ability to drum or play the lyre. So it would have been the equivalent, and the Skald would have travelled mostly from longhouse to longhouse or great hall, or if he was lucky, he would have been paid to be under the service of a king, and well, I imagine you have a good life being a king's poet. But yeah, it's very interesting to think about all these poets going around over 1,000 years ago. I mean, Bragi Magnarsson was talked about having a horse and cart, so he must have had a few belongings with him when he went to longhouse to longhouse and village to village. And of course there was that very famous encounter he had with the troll, and when I can pronounce the Norse word right, I am going to do that poem for you. So Thomas Dale says, I'll try and leave a comment with a clitcher in it to try and tempt people to watch a folk tale. Yeah, I think it's a good approach, that, because it kind of hooks them in. You let them know what we're doing, but not letting them know everything. You know, people are inquisitive, and that's good. I'm just going live there. Of course, we often forget about how the Anglo-Saxons introduced swearing in England. A lot of our swear words are English. But we must not forget the Viking swear words. It's something we can do a video on, and perhaps a video on Viking insults. I can remember in battles we used to shout at people, "Your mother's a goat!" I remember doing that one on many occasions. There is a Norse equivalent of it, but I've forgotten. I've forgotten far many things than I know. So do you have any more questions? Anything you want to know about while I'm here? I don't know how long I'm going to live stream for and how long we're doing it for. Let's have a look. It should tell me on here. Oh, 43 minutes. I was only planning to do about an hour, but I'll keep going along there's people watching and asking questions, because that's only fair, isn't it? You know. Let me have a drink a minute. I'm thirsty. I would put it in the horned goblet glass. Oh, lovely. While I got you, Thomas, I'm in Derby next week on Wednesday. So if you do want to meet for a beer in a few weeks and a catch up, let me know. I can meet you at 3:30 at the usual time and place. I had a couple of nice pints in there on Wednesday. So Thomas Dale says, your father was a hamster and your mother smelled of elderberries. Yeah, that's a good insult. Where do hamsters come from? I don't know that question. There must be a modern thing. Now, I had a hamster as a child, and I can very vaguely remember its leg fell off. Yes, you heard that right. I had a hamster and its leg dropped off, and then it had 3 legs. And not long after that, it died. And it had one of those wheels, and all it did at night was go round the wheels. Do you have hamsters in America? Is that one of the pets you have as a child in America? I don't know, or Canada. So, no idea. Thomas Dell says, yes, I can meet on Wednesday. That would be good. Yes, the usual time and place. Lovely jubbly. Let's hope it's going to be nice and sunny. I saw that book you'd been making. That looked quite interesting. Because we've been buying a few more things recently. I got a couple more tunics. In fact, this pink one's a new linen tunic I got for £30 off eBay. It was very good quality and completely hand sewn. So I thought that was a good price. Now I was thinking about this again today. If Vikings were around today, and we are, or if Vikings had the ability to have music back in the day, what kind of music would they play? I think Vikings would like heavy metal music myself. I think that's the kind of music they would like. But that might just be me. Perhaps I might like goth music or indie. Or, I don't know. What kind of music do you think a Viking would like? It's got to be music you can drink to, certainly. Come on, come back. Try and log in again. I need to alter my amount of time it logs me out in the future. Dragula. So Dragula says, my cat Yummy died a few months ago. Dedicated a song to her. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. We're a cat family. My dad never let me have a dog as a child. He was a gardener. So dogs and gardens didn't go together. But we had cats. And we had lots of cats. One was called Charlie, and he was a very, very big cat. And he didn't like anybody apart from me. They've all passed away now, and I do miss them. So, never far away from you, your pets. Off to the cat Valhalla. Yes, so hello to Dale Chatfield Metal. Yes, I definitely agree with you there. And welcome to the channel. Not seen you before. If you don't know what we do, we tell folk tales, whilst dressed as Vikings, and talk about history. Sometimes we vlog. Occasionally we live stream. Sometimes we do Viking combat. But we've done a lot on this channel so far. So hello to you. You're very welcome. I'm Bragi Magnarsson. It does make you think about cats. We were thinking about cats the other day because we told a folk tale, and I kind of said that no doubt Thomas would leave a comment about cats, as he often do. The altered one. Hello, on a break at work. So hello to you, the altered one. So yes, hope you're having a lovely break. And thanks for dropping in. Always great to see you here. Welcome to the channel. I know we've seen you a few times. And if you don't know who the altered one is, he's from Celtic Gods channel. And it's a great channel. I urge you to check it out. They are on our suggested channels list. It's good to support great channels. And it's a great community we're building on here as well. So I do thank you guys and girls, of course, for building this great community. It's what it's all about, really. It's sharing the knowledge, having fun, and trying to teach you a few things. And likewise, you know, you guys are always teaching us things. So we appreciate that. Like the other day, I learnt that you could eat the bark, bark of the birch tree. Now, I've known for a long time that you can make alcohol out of it, and I've often done that. But I've never actually eaten the inner bark of the birch tree. Oh yeah, The King of Cats. It's a fantastic tale, that one I do know off by heart. And it's a very intriguing tale. It dates from the 16th century, but I do believe it's much older in date, as it does have an old theme to it. Rum Tum Tugged. Tugger M. Oh yes, it certainly is one of the folk tales, Thomas. Because I'll probably have to get Egil to redo that one, because that was shot with the older camera. I know I told a version of that, and that was done with the older camera too. But the older camera was just not as good as the 4K one we use, which is a decent camera. Any opinions on Puss in Boots? Yeah, that's a much later tale again, isn't it? It probably dates from the 16th, 17th century. I don't know it off by heart, I'm afraid. It's not one of those tales I've read recently. It's not one I've ever planned to tell, but perhaps I will tell it in the future for you. Because we do have a playlist with the folk tales with the animal theme. And I do think the animal themed folk tales are very interesting. In fact, some of the most interesting of the folk tales. And we recently recorded 1 or 2 Finnish folk tales, and they all have a theme of animals. But at some point in the folktale chat series, we are going to address individual folktales themselves. So that will give us a fast scope to talk about folktales in the future. As I need to get back and record another one of them with Egil soon. It's just some days you just never have enough time when you're recording. Yeah, I'll have to familiar myself with the Puss in Boots folktale. Then I can no doubt talk about it and tell it to you. So let's just read a couple of comments. So Dale Chatfield says Jack and the Beanstalk. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute because the Jack character is very interesting. Thomas Dale says Dragler, yes, there is a Cats of Uthar. I like that tale. It has a folktale style to it. I think his Lord Dunasea period. And the altered one says One Tum Tugger is a cat from the T.S. Eliot poems written about his neighbourhood cats and made it into an old musical. Yes, I do have that book in first edition, actually signed by T.S. Eliot. Very good book. So the altered one says thanks Bragi. So let's just go back to Dale Chatfield and let's talk about Jack. And this Jack on the Beanstalk is this guy called the Jack of Kent. Is also known as Jackie of Gloucestershire. He seems to have travelled from Kent all across England to Wales, and there's many a folk tale told about him. The 2 most famous folk tales are the one where he builds a bridge with the devil, and the devil asks for the first soul that crosses the bridge. And Jack throws bread and a dog goes across the bridge and the devil ends up winning a dog. I felt sorry for the dog in that tale. And then there's another tale of Jack when he's having a contest throwing stones, I think with a giant or another man. And Jack manages to throw a stone out and make this island. So I very recently, when I was in Derby last week, found a book on about the Jack character and speculating who it may be from the 13th or 14th century. So I'm looking forward to reading that. Maybe we can cover a video talking about the folklore of Jack of Kent. Although fundamentally it's a video for Egil because he is from Kent and it's his home county. So perhaps I might give that book to Egil to read. But he is a very interesting character. And of course Jack and the Beanstalk is yet again a very interesting story. It kind of reminds me of the Boots tale of where Boots had to go and make the princess, say, whoa, that's the story. And later on in the story, the Boots character talks about making cheese. And the princess is basically a boasting folk tale where the princess boasts how the cheese is where she's one of the biggest, but yet Boots says, well, no, where I made the cheese was that big and that we need a whole great hall to make them in. And in fact, we have 2 ponies going around, 2 donkeys stirring the cheese, and one year a donkey fell into the cheese and was not able to get out. And many years later, whilst we was eating the cheese, we found the donkey inside the cheese, still alive. And we quarrelled who owned it. In the end, I owned the donkey. And I was walking into market to sell, and his back went. It broke in half. So I thought to myself, did this Boots character, and he got a little pine seedling, and he planted the pine seedling in the spine of the donkey, and it grew into a massive tree. Until one day, Boots was so curious about where this tree went, and it must have been a strange sight. There's this poor old donkey with a ginormous tree going out of his back. Somehow I don't believe it. But then Boots climbed up the tree, very much like Jack. But instead of encountering a giant and finding some treasure, he encountered a maiden. And just when he was about to climb onto the land, the tree snapped. And he was falling, but the maiden very quickly let some rope out and it saved him. And then he climbed back down the tree and fell down a hole, and the folktale ends with him appearing outside a longhouse where the princess father, the king, and Boots' mother are repairing shoes, and the princess, oh, my father would never, the king would never make and repair shoes. Now that's a story, and of course Boots ends up winning the princess, the first princess, because in another folktale he wins another one. So, you know, the guy's doing alright, isn't he? 2 princesses and some treasure from the troll. What a dude Boots is. He was also known as the Ash Lad as well, so a bit more information on Boots there for you. Just logging back in, see what comments I've missed. Yeah, so Jack in the Box, not thought about that. Does that go back to the folktales of Jack? Well, it makes you think. It also makes you think how old the Jack in the Box is. I'd imagine it probably goes back to the 16th century. Yet again, it's one of those inventions from the 16th and 17th century. I'd imagine, from my memory and being able to guess that. So hello Zoe, welcome to the channel, and she said the story of Thor finding Beagle and Trejigal. Yes, I've heard of that story, not read it for a long time, but that's a great story to cover on the channel, and I must remember to write that down later on. Add it to the list. We are developing a long list of stories from the sagas we're going to plan to tell in the future. But as you can imagine, these things all take time. So got an old friend of mine here, that is Tecto's Sagas. Hello Tecto, I'm very good today, how are you? So nice to see you here. And he says, have you seen the Jack in the Green with his long tails hanging down? I'm not sure, I'll have to look at that. And I think the altered one breaks over, so you hope your work goes quick and you're soon back at home relaxing, mate. And see you later, the altered one. So Dale Chatfield says Jack equals a spirit. Yeah. Certainly the spirit of Jack has continued to this day. And I expect the Jack figure is a medieval folktale recorded in the 16th, 17th century, and of course recorded by the Victorian collectors of folktales. But I'm looking forward to reading that book on Jack of Kent and find out a bit more about him for you guys. So, of course, we're not far away now to when I publish that video of me singing at 700 subs, and I do promise to do another Combat 700 sub special. I think it's going to be based around langseax versus seax, because that's the most popular video on the channel. So we are soon going to double down on some of the content that's been successful. We're going to film some more Viking rush clothing videos. They recently bought a very nice Eastern style jacket. It's around here somewhere. I've got too much stuff, that's the problem. It's so yes, it's a Jethro Tull song, Bragi. Oh yes, you do like your Jethro Tull. So a very well known fact about Tecto. Just check the battery life. We should be fine because I'm on a battery power pack. Oh, 100%. You could be here for hours. It's always a pleasure to entertain. And we should do this more often, really. And of course, Dragler says the Union Jack. Well, of course. Of course, there's a lot of history about the Union Jack. And that is a video on its own. Although, one thing I did say to Egil the other day was that perhaps I was thinking about doing a video for the anniversary of D-Day. Because I do think we own the Great War generation a lot. And although it's not a Viking thing, it's just something we're thinking about doing. So, and of course, so Dale Chatfield, Tetto is correct, yes. Jack O'Lantern, Jack Frost, etc. I've got a nephew called Jack. He's only about 10, he's already a strapping lad. He'll be a good Viking when he's older. Just jolly good, that's what I like to see. Just see if I missed any comments. So I'll just read this one from the altered one earlier. Yeah, the term is used for Spirit Jack Frost being a frost spirit. Jack Flash being a nickname for the Extian devil. Oh, interesting. It's always great to read your comments because you guys have such wonderful and lovely informative comments. And we do thank you. We praise you for it. Thank you. And we're all going to do more reading comments videos. We've got a lot to catch up on, but we do enjoy making those videos. So Thomas Dale says, laugh out loud, Tetto, there's a lot to buy. I still keep buying books. In fact, I bought that book you recommended, Thomas, the other day, the one on Celtic Folktales. It had a good number of pages in it. So that should be here next week. Add to the collection. And Tetto Sagas all, hi all, how's the budget lasting, Thomas? Laugh out loud. Yes, well, if you do spend money on books, they do add up. I keep buying books. I won't tell you how much I spent on a tunic recently. So, Dragler said, read the Folktales. So, we'll put that on the list. It's just, I mean, when it comes to the saga content, it's going to take us years to cover all of it. It really is. Which is great. We're never going to run out of content to film on this channel. I'd hate to have a channel where you're struggling to think of content. So Thomas Dale says, yes, I want to see about making clothing, though leatherwork and metalwork I'll probably buy. Well, I'll offer to help you make clothing. We can start you making your cloak first of all, Thomas. So you just got to walk up here and catch the bus. And I'm pretty much thinking about 4 hours we could make you a cloak. Trousers and tunic will take much longer. And we do have 1 or 2 product reviews in the making as well of things we bought recently we're going to cover. So watch out for that. So Dragler, that's exactly what I'm into. Yeah, we are going to develop the craft side of things more and more in time. I think if we can get some kind of a tent set up in the summertime where I can work outside on leatherwork, then we'll do that. But it just takes time for us to do something like that. I want to do it right, and I want to make sure that if I demonstrate something, I'm going to be showing it 100% correct how it would have been done. But of course the long-term goal for this channel is to fund some kind of a longhouse building, so then we can actually film the actual building of a longhouse, because I think these things are possible with funding. And then we could have some kind of outdoor workshop, and then some kind of space we can teach and educate people from. That would be a dream of ours, to have a longhouse. So Zoe says, old stories, no royalties. Well, yes, that's very true. If you are telling a tale published before 1923, then there are no copyrights on that tale or that story. And then the next date to be concerned with, I think, is 1964. If a piece of work has been, as the copyright has been renewed in between that time, then it still is copyrighted. But if the copyright has not been renewed between 1923 and 1964, then it's fair play. But then again, you also got the fact that we adapt our folk tales. So I doubt for very much we'll ever get a copyright issue on the folk tales, but you never know with these things. It's something I did research quite heavily and also had some legal advice on before I started this channel. Free legal advice, of course. And the thing is, a lot of these stories do need telling, which is why we started this channel. Because it's okay having an audio copy of the sagas or the folk tales, but by not seeing a person like me or Egil tell it to you personally, I think you're missing out for a lot of that context. And often at the end of the folk tales we like to talk about them, because that also adds, I think, that extra little bit of information. And it's also that we also like to give that bonus information at the end of the video. It's like to say thank you guys for watching. Now here's your bonus information. Here's a little bit of snippet at the end. And that's what we like to do. In fact, very recently Egil told a folk tale called The Grass Snake. And at the end of that I told a second folk tale. So I may publish that on Tuesday, so watch out. But the folk tale I told was not a European one. For the first time I told a tale from the Micmac and the Abenaki, as I do know those folk tales off by heart. And they are wonderful folk tales. And if we're not careful, we'll lose all this stuff. It's okay having it written down in a book, but books don't last forever. And we've seen in history that books have been burnt. So let's not lose this information. And slowly in time, we're going to develop a very big database of folk tales on this channel for the world to see. So thank you very much. But it's you guys that make the channel. It wasn't for you guys leaving your comments. It's just been me and Egil doing it for ourselves. We'll have a lot of fun doing it for ourselves, but we're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for you guys and you girls out there, and for the world to see. Yeah, I got some days I think I got the gift of the gab. Stay up. Malfunction. Weapons are falling down. Must put this langseax away. Go on. I'm going to make a new scabbard for this langseax soon, with a nice brass or copper all the way down it. I'm in the middle of making a new langseax, because some days I just get bored and I think, oh, I've got a nice big lump of steel, I can make a langseax out of that. Just this way I am. There's no limitation to what you can do, folks. If you've been told in your life that you can't do this and you can't do that, then that's not true. Yeah, you may say to yourself, well, I want to be an astronaut, and there might be a bit of limitations on that. But if you believe in something and you work hard enough, you can get there. And as human beings, we can achieve a lot. We can achieve wonderful and amazing things. So I keep typing the incorrect pin here. Bad Bragi. So, here we go. Oh, I've got to try again in 30 seconds. Oh, technology. Oh, Loki, what are you doing to me? It's bound to be Loki inventing these things to wind me up. That's what Loki does. He invents technology to wind up Bragi. Let's put the langseax down. I'll tell you what I've not got today, any jewellery. I feel naked without a bit of silver on my arm. And I've got a nice big box worth there, look. So it's a bit of bling. Every Viking needs a bit of bling. Because let's face it, Vikings were known for it. There we go. Back in again. Right. I can see what comments I've missed. So Thomas Dale says, that's cool in the Cultic Myths book. Yeah, well, thank you, Thomas, for letting me know about that book. I look forward to finding some folk tales from that. And when we do find a folk tale, I often do research to make sure that they are copyright free. So our brother Graulf Rickardson just returned and caught up with the stream. Funny you're saying about having a beer with the two infamous Vikings, as me and the other half are aiming to head to Derby soon for a little getaway. Well, we'll be very happy to meet up. So, and it's something we are going to do on the channel, is meet up with people. I know on previous channels I'm a big fan of a guy called Adam the Woo. You may have heard of him. And I've seen him do meetups, and you know, you're about like a mall in America. And there'll just be hundreds and hundreds of people in a line waiting to meet him. So we do want to do that, you know. It'd be great to go down a pub in Derby and take it over. You know, a Viking invasion, you could say, that likes beer. So yes, we're always happy to meet with our friends from the channel. Bring your kit, we'll get you on camera. We're always happy to work with folk. The one idea I did have recently was to do collabs with people. So let's say you got an idea for a folk tale. If you can record a folk tale in HD, then compress it and email it to me. Then me and Egil will record an introduction video, and we're going to think about publishing folk tales from our subs. Because it would be nice to tell some folk tales that are non-European. It would be nice to have our friends and our subscribers do that, perhaps. Because, you know, we've always said, me and Egil, that this channel is not about me and Egil, it's about you guys. This channel is way bigger than me, you know. So Sally says, this lot wholesome, heritage and informative. Yes, we do try to be, first of all, entertaining. We try to be fun, and we try to be informative. We don't always get it right. We try to get it right. But we are human beings. So, you know, and we often, if you say to you, you know, I got an idea for a video, well, that idea will be written down, and eventually that idea will be filmed. And we have done this a few times. We've got a proven track record of filming content which you guys want to see. So, you know, this is as much your channel as it is ours. I do wish this would keep logging me out. So, Thomas Dale says, did Vikings prefer iPads or Microsoft tablets, laugh out loud? Well, this is actually an Android. So, I don't think Vikings would go for an Apple. No, I think they'll probably go for a normal Windows tablet, you know. It's just got to do the job, hasn't it, you know. You don't want a fancy long shit called an Apple sign on it, do you? You just want a long shit what does the job. I think Vikings were very practical like that, you know. If it does the job, why repair it? So Dale Chatfield says, mead, one of our favourite drinks. In fact, just below where I am now, there's a barrel of mead. There's 4 gallons in it, and it was brewed, wait for it, in 1976. It is 43 years old this year. Could be the oldest mead on this planet of ours. Who knows? What is the oldest mead? I don't know. So, let's have a look. So, Growl Wickhodson, the Viking Invasion 2019. Definitely going to be bringing my kit. Haha. Cool. It'll be a pleasure to meet up. And Tecto Sagas, they have a golden apple. Oh yes. Oh, the gods don't mess about, do they? They wouldn't have a white apple, they have a golden one. And so he says, eye stone. Yes, that could be right. That could be a Stone Age tablet. That's one for Milo. Stefan Milo. Another great channel and a good friend of ours. And Thomas Dale says, laughs out loud. Dale Chatfield says, my kids are listening, so hello to your children. Hello, I'm a Viking, and I come in peace today. So, I'm just Vikings, you know, can be scary, but we're not very scary. We're very friendly Vikings, and we do like telling folk tales. One day we might do a bedtime folk tale series for you children, so watch out for that one. That will be very interesting, I think. So Thomas Dale says, I think they found some Roman wine recently in a glass bottle. Ah, this is a very interesting point. Not on the glass bottle, But I do believe very recently in England they found some rabbit bones from the 1st century, which is now making them think that actually the Romans introduced rabbits. So, but I'm very doubtful. I expect those rabbits were not wild rabbits and probably grown for food and breeded. Well, she would have found rabbit bones in other contexts. But it's always been very debatable about when rabbits came into this country. Because a lot of people will say the Normans brought them in. Do you know? Perhaps you could leave a comment. So let's go back to the comments. We do like reading your comments. So Tecto Sagas says, laughs out loud. And Dale Chatfield, I doons apples. In fact, Egil Thorsson recently told that Sagas story. A very good version. And Thomas Dale says, I think they found some... I read that one. Tecto Sagas, I'll buy you 6 grey mares to put in your stable. 6 golden apples bought by my pay. Sorry, just having a tool moment. Well, that's all very good. And Dale Chatfield, at Thomas Blur Vinegar. Of course, one of the ingredients of making dark age glue is sour beer. Though you can use vinegar, but I do prefer to use sour vinegar when making dark age glue from milk. Something we are going to demonstrate and talk about in the future when we're making an authentic shield. When I find some authentic wood. Bear with us. So, I've got a big smiley face from Zoe. I don't really do smiley faces and emoji things yet. One day we might get into them. So I often see like beer glass, there's one here, dagger, beer glasses, mussels. So they do make me laugh. So Tecto Sagas, Bots Grove, 6,000 years ago, rabbit bones, true. Yeah. It doesn't make sense that rabbits weren't around. And then Thomas Dale says, Tecto, you got me on a tool binge. Yes, I think you'll be listening to Techno, to Jeff for a Tull all night now, so I can't get my words out then. That happens in live streams. Some days your brain's thinking, but your words aren't coming out right. And I don't have the best voice, you know. I mean, I'm certainly, for anybody who ever had a speech impediment, I mean, I had one as a child, I'm certainly a good role model for that. You know, don't let having a bad voice put you off. Just go on YouTube, make some videos, and have fun. You know. But I do, if you are going to make a channel, then do research what you're doing and watch a lot of content on how to do it. In fact, I think we might make a video in the future. If you guys would like to see a video on Bragi's 7 tips for running a successful YouTube channel, I can do that for you. It would be my pleasure. Because often, you know, it's often about creators, open creators. I like to see that on YouTube. So go back to some of these cool comments, which you often like to read. This is what our hangouts are about some days. It's reading your comments. So, Thomas Dale Chatfield, yes, I wouldn't want to drink it. No. And then Tecto, to quote the now legendary Tiny Tina, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. That's out loud. Yes, one of the things I was thinking about actually introducing to the channel, said that wrong there, didn't I? Channel was a comedy show of funny sketches, but I don't know how you guys would take that. And it might take a bit more planning on our point of view. Because we are funny. I think we're funny. You know, I must be funny because I watch my own content and I laugh at it. Especially when I watch Egil's content. And just yesterday's folktale, we recorded that and I really struggled not to laugh all the way throughout that folktale. And so some days when I'm recording the folktale, I have to put a pillow on my face to stop the laughing. So because Egil can be that funny. Or even worse, I have to go out of the room because I couldn't not laugh. Dale Chatfield, Tiny Tina, question mark. Yes, question mark. What is a Tiny Tina? Please explain. Laughs out loud. And Thomas Dale says, if Joe Pasquale could do it. Yes, he's got a very squeaky voice, hasn't he, Joe Pasquale? That's my Joe Pasquale impression. So somebody's going to go along one day and find all the impressions Egil's done and I've done and put them all together in a funny video. I swear to you, it will all happen. So, Tecto Sagas, a character from the Borderlands series of video games. Yes, we have promised before to do a video gaming channel where we dress up and play games, you know, Vikings gaming. It kind of makes sense. But even better to get Egil doing it, because you know it's going to be well funny watching Egil try to play a game. Could you imagine Egil playing Call of Duty? I really want to see that now. Inspector Gadget. That's one for Thomas there. Only Thomas will know what that's about. Perhaps Thomas might tell the story in the comment. I still want to do that, Thomas, with your dad one day. Now, oh, I can say hi. Hello, it's me, Bragi. I'm going to get a drink. Wait a minute. I promise there's no alcohol in that. Drago says play Daggerfall. I might have to look out for that. Dale Chatfield, throwing axes. Yes, that brings back memories. It is something I thought about. I know in my local park there's a tree where we used to go and practice throwing axes against. I'm not sure how good it will be these days going up your local public park and doing throwing axes. We got funny looks in those days. But certainly if I can get some wood from my workshop and make some kind of an axe target, then yeah, I'm up for doing some axe throwing. Because I really do like axe throwing. In fact, once I even stood behind a target and filmed it, just for the fun of it. It was quite interesting being behind a target and having an axe thrown at you. Luckily the guy throwing it was Olaf. Didn't hit me. Although he did it, and I remember flicking one and it flew over and hit him. Oh, poor old Olaf. So, sorry. Gravlax Viking Sushi. Here are some more emoji for you, just to make it difficult. Oh, thanks. One day we're going to get into these emoji things. One day. I promise we will do. It's just not something I'd ever use in text, you know. Occasionally I might use a smiley face, but some days you get these emoji and I think, what does that mean? And there's a lot of them. It's like a whole new language. It's very fascinating. And being interested in etymology and languages, it's just fascinating how we have progressed. I seem to be spending a lot of my time just logging into this thing. Anyway, yes, so Thomas Dale says, I went with my dad to a busy toy fair and he kept on singing the Inspector Gadget song. I don't know why, but I've just got this really vivid imagination now, going around a toy fair with your dad, with him dressed as Inspector Gadget, going along, Inspector Gadget. That's probably copyrighted. Better not be. Of course, it was a good cartoon back in the day. I suppose I never ever thought I'd talk about Inspector Gadget on this channel. Go magic wings. Go Viking sword. Oh, it's not happening, is it? There we go. It's a good old Norwegian sword that. It's got one edge, not two. Come back, there we go. Yes, so it's a very funny occasion. So Dale Chatfield says, QB, question mark. Oh, we'll keep going. Now, very recently, I've got a broken sword, which I rounded off and made into a little short sword. But it does make you think, what would a Viking do with a broken sword? You know, there you are in battle, the tip of your blade broke. It's got a nice ring to it still, surprisingly. I've been told this is a castle blade, another rare blade from the 1980s. But it does make you think, there you are, you got your favourite sword and it's broken up the top. What do you do? I'd imagine if it was me, I would take off the pommel and the cross guard, then I would remake the blade into a langseax or a couple of scrams. But it does make you think whether they'll round them off and resharpen them into a shorter blade. To me it doesn't make sense because the balance is slightly wrong. But I think at some point we're going to have a go at fighting with a shorter blade, just for the heck of it. To get that question across, because it is quite interesting, you know, the experimental archaeology and trying new things like that. So, and we do have a few swords. But I've got to make a video soon on a sword from armour class, and we're going to review it properly. So, very good manufacturer blades. Not as good as a Binsey blade, because they are very good. Oh, just Q, but there's no E, but yeah. So thank you very much, sorry for that. And Thomas Dale says, go go gadget flying cat chariot. Go go magic flying bird of a limp. Go go duck of evil. I want to hear those words together. Just checking there, make sure it wasn't there. Duck of evil. Of course, if you don't know what the duck of evil is about, well, you just have to watch the channel and catch up with us. And Dale Chatfield, I'm bound to misspell things from time to time. Well, yes, you're only human. You should try to pronounce Viking names. We get them wrong now and again. I definitely do. Some days I can't pronounce English. So, but really, you know, as my dad would say, Magnar, you're only as good as your last job. So there you go. And if you've not made a mistake in your life, you've not made anything. Very true that. Wise words there from my father Magnar, who's currently in bed asleep. As you don't know, when I'm not doing YouTube, I'm a carer for my father. He has Alzheimer's, which is a crippling disease. It does make you think how a Viking, if they got to a grand age and had Alzheimer's, how they would have been looked upon and looked after. I think they would have been looked after better than what we're doing in today's society. Tecto Sagas says, is Cube the stick throwing knocking thing down game? Yeah, that does ring a bell. I think I might have seen it on one of these programs where you go and buy things. And Dale Chatfield says, I just want to go raiding. Well, as a Viking. Yes, if one of those days could be brought back again. Oh, so he says, yes, like wooden blocks. A bit like Yanga, with the wooden block towers. We used to have an enormous one of them in the pub we used to go to. Oh, what fun. Just check the camera battery, we should be okay. Oh yes, still 100%. We can go for hours, folks. I might not want like that. I've got to get to sleep at some point. But we'll keep going for now. It's only just gone past 11 o'clock in the UK. Still early. Anyway, I'm a night owl. Twit true. Yes, it does make you think about what kind of games they would have played in the Longhouse. I remember some of the games we played at banquets would be like, you'll get a stick like this, and you'd have it to your head, and you have to like spin round 50 times and try to get back to your bench in one go. So we used to play all sorts of games like that at banquets. Banquets were fun. if you ever get to go to a Viking banquet, I would recommend it. You'd have a laugh. Plus, there'd be good food if you're at the table and good drink. And Dale Chatfield says, oh yeah, oh, they can be brought back. And then Tecto Sagas says, spent many a happy hour being completely rubbish at it years ago. Great fun. But it does make you think about some of these pub games like Skittles and how old they are. Probably again goes back to the 16th century pub Skittles. But it does make you think, you know, there you are in your longhouse and you've got 9 wooden posts and a wooden ball. Would not somebody thought about coming up with that concept? Probably not, but I'd imagine in winter you would have been bored a lot in the longhouse in the dark ages. So you would have spent a lot of your time making things to pass the time. Or sleeping. Sleeping's a hobby of mine. At the moment I'm not very good at it. I'm a rubbish sleeper. I used to be brilliant at sleeping in my 20s. It's quite strange having a tablet in my hand on a live screen. Normally I used to hold an axe or a sword. Right, Eggle's axe over here. It's a good axe that. It was quite loose, the head, so I gave it a good whack with a big hammer about 10 times and now it's solid. But I'm getting ready to redesign the setup and change it around a bit, because I do like to change it a bit. But at the moment, if we have too much white, we look far too pale in our videos. So I'm trying to make it a bit darker. So Dale Chatfield, making babies as a hobby, it sure is. I'd like a large family. I think every Viking should have a large family. And we certainly need to have more children than the rest. So there you go. What is your hobby? Makes you think how old the word hobby is. I'm going to have to look that up now later on. That's my life, looking up the word hobby. I'll do it over a beer. Thinking about that, I left beer in the fridge. Oh, sacrilege. But no doubt that was a hobby often done by the Vikings. But let's face it, if you're in your longer house with your wife, your whiff in Saxon, you're going to have to find some way of spending the time. So Tecto Saga says, make it darker, like the DC movie verse, laughs out loud. Yes, why is it Hollywood that you have to make movies so dark? It's like the recent Game of Thrones episode. No spoilers, don't worry folks, you're safe. But it was very dark, as in the atmosphere and the filming of it. You know, why does Hollywood like to make movies with a very dark setting? You know, I like to see what's going on in a movie. Don't know about you guys, but so Dale Chatfield says, drink beer from the drinking horn. Oh yes. I've got a very large one around here that holds about 4 pints. That would be a good start to the night. But the problem with a drinking horn, once you've filled it, you can't put it down until it's empty. And if you're at a banquet, somebody will come along and fill it again. Because they like that, you know, they like to get you drunk at banquets. Oh yes, Viking leg wrestling. I've not done that for many years. I did try to demonstrate it once with a man called Daz. He was a Welshman from Wales. Boyle. I beat him, of course. So he says, try whcih. It's the like reg wrestling. You can tell it's late when I can't pronounce wrestling right. But then again, you know, wrestling is a very old sport. Certainly very old. And it makes you think about this rumour about this being this English martial arts which, you know, the Saxons had. I'd like to find out a bit more about that. But probably the information is probably sadly lost. and Dale Chatfield as Gleamer. Now, I could tell you a folk tale. Would you like a folk tale? I could pass you the time telling folk tales. I know many of them. It's often when we do live stream, we don't plan them. We just go with the flow and see where we end up. Tecto says, I haven't only ever watched that, Zoe. Good sport. Yeah, I'll have to have a look at YouTube now for that. But it's always great when you give them information of things to look up, because I do like learning. There's something very good about learning. It's always great if you can learn something every day, something new, then I think you're doing well. You can go to bed happy. Yeah, I learned something today and I've done something. Oh yeah, so I don't know what to say now. I'm like a silent Bragi. I was going to do that sketch with Egil. It's a take of Jay and Silent Bob. I was going to do Egil and Silent Bragi somehow as a sketch. But I don't know, something like that's made me chuckle and laugh. I get weird ideas for content at mad times of the day. You do some days, you think, oh, I should do a video doing this, it'll be mad. But some days you think, well, maybe not. Drago's going, bye guys, well you take care and thanks for dropping in. Always a pleasure to see you in the live chats. And we now have 7 people watching, so hello to the 7th person. You're very welcome. Or, as they say in the Viking tongue, good day to you. Or in fact, good night and good night. So Zoe says, I found some Gleamer instructions, but they're... Yes, I'm going to have to look up Gleamer now, so I'll probably know what I'm thinking about later on and look it up. So, cool. A far distance away. That's a shame. Although it's amazing what you can learn on the internet, you know. The amount of stuff I've learnt, you know, craft-wise, I'm going to go at something, or your car's broken. You can learn stuff like that. So, sewing technique, I learned quite a few sewing techniques. One thing I want to try soon is nail binding. I'm going to do that, and maybe tablet weaving. I never tried those 2 things. So, Dale would like a story. Right, let me put this down and I'll tell you the folk tale of a man called Boots who ate a match with a troll. Now this is a Norwegian folk tale. So, many summers ago, in the land of the brave Vikings, the Norwegians, there lived a farmer, and he had a wife, and he had 3 sons. And, well, the farmer, he was poor. He had a bit of land, and on that land was a giant, massive wood. And the farmer, well, he was very old at this stage. He had a big grey beard, was long in the beard. He was old. He had seen the world. But he was in debt to another farmer. And one day he said to his oldest son, he said, you must go out tomorrow with your sharp axe and you must chop up some logs for us, for we need to sell some logs and make some coin. Everybody needs a coin. And so the next day, his oldest son went to the food cupboard, got some cheese, got a nice leather sack, put his cheese and bread in the leather sack, and then he got a nice axe, his favourite axe, and he set off in the wood. And he'd been walking all morning to a place where he knew some fine fir trees were growing. And he came to the place where he stepped to the tree, and he thought, this is the tree. He put the sack down, he got his axe, he had a stone, he made sure it was sharp, And then he started to swing his axe. Swing, chop, chop, chop. But on the third chop, something very strange happened. For he went to chop up the big tree, and there was a massive stomp. A massive loud noise. And he looked at his axe and thought, did I do that? Didn't know. Tried again. Stomp! And another massive noise. And this happened for the third time on the third stroke. And he looked around, and in the distance in the forest he could see trees shaking and trees moving. And then suddenly, what do you think came out of the forest? But a massive troll. And not just any troll, because this was a Norwegian troll, a troll from the west. And these trolls are bigger and taller and stronger. And this troll was very ugly. We'll talk about that in a minute. And well, our young man, he saw the troll, and in fright, being very scared, he dropped the axe and very quickly legged it on his feet back to his longhouse, to where his mother and father and his two brothers lived. And he went up to his father and he said, "Father, I was in the wood and a massive troll came and I had to run." Well, his father was very disappointed, and he said, "If I was half the man I am today, I would have had that troll." And then he said to the middle brother, said, "Tomorrow you must go and chop the wood, for your older brother has let down the family." And so the next day, the middle brother, he got an axe, and he got the last bit of cheese and another bag, and he went off into the wood, walking through the wood, and he came to the same place, and he saw the same tree which his older brother had started to try to chop down. And there on the ground was a leather sack with some half-eaten cheese. And again he started to chop at the tree, and for a while he was chopping, nothing was happening. But then you know what was coming. After a while he chopped, and there was a loud stomp. He looked at his axe. What's going on here? He did it again. Stomp! And again he looked around. He thought, well, what's going on here? And for the third time it happened. And in the distance again he could see the trees moving. And out of the trees came a most mighty troll. Some folks say as big as a tree. And so, what do you think he did? Do you think he fought the troll? Oh no. He dropped the axe and he legged it on his 2 feet as fast as he can back home. And it was sunset when he got back home. And he went up to his father and said, "Father, I tried to chop up some logs, but the troll came and I could not fight it. It's too big." And his father was very disappointed, shook his fist, and said, "If I was half the man, half the warrior, I would have had that troll." He was disappointed in his son. I think you would be. And so he came to his last son. And his last son, the third son, was called Boots. And he said, "Boots," he said, "you must go. And you must go and chop the wood and make some logs, because we need the coin." And so the next morning, Boots got his favourite axe. And he went to go and get some cheese, but well, there was no cheese in the cupboard. So he went to his mother and he said, "Mother, I need some cheese." And she made a whey of cheese. And she put it in a skip bag. And this is a bag that's designed to take liquid and not leak. So in his bag he had a whey of cheese. And he started walking. He'd been walking all morning. His legs were tired. And he came to the same place where his 2 brothers were chopping at the trees. And he tried to chop them down, and he was chopping for a time, when suddenly again he heard the stomping noises. Stomp! He looked at his axe, wondered what was going on. Stomp! And again he looked at his axe, and this time he remembered what his brothers told him about the troll, and he knew it was a troll. And he put the axe in the wood and he waited for the troll to turn up. And this is what happened. In the distance, the troll came through the tree, the trees parted, and for the first time Boots had a close-up sight of the troll. the troll had big ears and eyes the size of a shield and a bulbous nose with spots. And the troll said, "Who's that, hewing and chopping down trees in my wood?" And Boots, well, he was very clever, and he replied, "It's me, Boots." And very quickly he reached in his bag and he got out the whcih, and he started to squeeze and squeeze the cheese until all the liquid whey came out. And he said to the troll, "Look, this is a stone, and if you don't cooperate with me, I will squeeze your head like this stone until all the liquid comes out." Well, to this the troll was very frightened. He did not want to lose his head or have it squashed like a stone. And he thought that this Boots character was, well, a hero with superhuman strength. So he said, "Well, I'll tell you what," the troll said to Boots. "You and me will chop wood all day, because I need wood for my cave and my hearth, and you need wood for your decks." And this is what happened. Both the big troll, who had a massive axe, and Boots, with a small axe, chopped wood. And it was late in the day. The sun was setting. And the troll said to Boots, "Well, it's very late. I do not think you'll get back to your longhouse, your farmstead in time. So you must come with me." And Boots agreed to this. And so the Boots and the troll left. And where do you guys think the troll lived? You got it. The troll lived in a cave. And so Boots and the troll went in the cave. And the troll said, "Well, I'm hungry and you must be hungry. So go and get that big cauldron and carry it down to the stream and come back with water." So Boots tried this. He got a big cauldron and he tried to lift the cauldron, but no matter how many times he tried to lift the cauldron, he could not lift it. It was too big. So Boots, he said, "I tell you what," said, "I can't lift that cauldron. You go and get the water and I will make the fire." And this is what Boots did. He went to his patch, got some flint, made a spark, started a fire. And then the troll came back with the water in the cauldron, and he hung it on 2 chains, and he got some oats and poured it in. So after some time of stirring the pot, the troll made porridge. And they decided to have an eating contest, Boots and the troll. And they both got a wooden bowl and started to eat together. And when the first bowl was emptied, they had a second bowl. And they both continued to eat and eat and eat. This was a massive cauldron of porridge. And on the 9th bowl, Boots was getting filled up. His belly was full, and he was very fearful that he would lose this contest. And who knows what could happen if he lost the contest with this troll. So he got his bag and he put it on his belly. And when the troll wasn't looking, he started to pour in the porridge. He spooned it into his bag. And this is what Boots did. And Boots was able to keep up with the troll. And the troll couldn't believe it, saying, "Whoa, what a mighty appetite you've got." But then, after another 9 bowls, Boots got filled up and his sack was almost full. So, Boots was very clever. He got a knife and he made a slit at the bottom of his bag, letting out the porridge so he could eat more. But the troll saw this, and Boots said, "You must cut your belly to let more food in, for I've done it to my belly." Because, well, the troll didn't quite see the leather bag. He just saw what he thought was Boots' belly, with the porridge coming out. And so the troll got a sharp knife, and he got it and he cut himself. And very quickly all of his guts, well, all went out on the floor, and the troll died. And Boots, well, he had to look round, and in the corner he found a cauldron full of gold and silver. He was very lucky and very happy. So he got that and he managed to get back home with it. And he was very clever. He didn't tell his mother or father or brothers he'd buried that for another day. He hoarded it. The end of the tale. Boots won and the troll died. And that should be a warning to any troll out there. There you go. So I do hope you like that called folktale. One of my favourites. And there are 3 more folktales to the Boots series. In fact, I've got one more to tell in the future to record. So, did you like that? Are we still online? I don't know. Have a look. So often when I tell a folktale, I retain them and I know them all in my mind. So I can pretty much just tell folktales and tell folktales on live streams until my voice goes. And it was a very cunning character this Boots was, you know. The Vikings were very clever. I think that kind of emphasises this in this tale. So, and don't forget folks, if you do have any trolls on your channel, just tell them a troll folktale. Let them know how badly it ends. So let's go back to some comments. I see Cultic God's back in the channel, so hello Cultic. Lunchtime, says Cultic God. And Thomas Dale says hello Cultic. Dale Chatfield says absolutely. And Dale Chatfield says hail Celtic. And Celtic God says don't forget to like the stream so it shows up on more lists. Oh yes, thank you guys, we do like it when you share it and like it. 2 likes make me very sad barbarian. May have read that wrong, I don't know. It's late in the day. So Celtic God, desperate and cunning Boots. Oh yes. And Dale Chatfield, necessity is the mother of invention. Indeed it is. I've heard that before. And Dale Chatfield said, should have put oysters in with it. Oh yeah, perhaps so. Just make you think how much fish they had in the diets. If you're probably coastal, you'll probably have more. And Celtic God, very good tale. Why, thank you. It's a pleasure to tell them to you. I do plan to tell those in 4K soon. Thomas Dale, thank you, Bragi. So Celtic God, you tell folk tales, which is a form of the oral tradition. Have you considered telling tales from the Eddas or the Irish theme, or I think it's called? Yeah, we are going to cover more tales from the Eddas, and certainly going to cover more Irish folk tales. So I'm trying to broaden where we get folk tales from. So just bear with us. I mean, we do have a lot of folk tales to tell, you know. I mean, alone in the dictionary of English folk tales, that's 4 volumes with about 4,000 pages, I think. That's a lot of folk tales in those books. So oh yeah, so just bear with him, just give us time, we will tell more of these tales. I have thought about perhaps even publishing 3 folk tales a week. We do have them piling up, you know. We can record in a week 7 or 8 folk tales. I mean, that's a month's worth there alone in one session. So Celtic God, yeah, that's it. Thank you. And Tecto Sagas, no worries. I do love it when I read all your guys' comments and I support each other. And how you spread on the love. It's, you know, we can make this world a better place with such folks as you. So have another drink. This is thirsty work, talking all the time. I'm not looking forward to subtitling these live streams one day. I think we'll probably pay to get someone to do it for us. Let them understand my words. Have fun with that one. But there's another thing we do try to work on is the subtitling, but I'll give you an example. If you've got a 5-minute video, it takes about 40 minutes to subtitle it. That's when, you know, even when I know my own words. So it is a massive job. Although one of the things you guys can do, it is accessible on the channel for you guys to suggest titles, descriptions and subtitles. It is open to the public. I don't think you need an invite. I think it should be open. I think it just, you can just do it. If you feel like helping, that is. But it's pretty much great that you just share and you do great comments. So Thomas says, thank you, Bragi. Oh, you're welcome, Thomas. Actually, very recently we did record the 800 subscriber milestone special, which is a folk tale called The Bear and the Hunter. I think Thomas might know about that one. That was a good telling. Me and Egil was in that one. So you got 138 subs to go for that one. No worries, and Celtic God says, and that's why all my videos are raw. And I appreciate those who can edit. The editing of the video is the easy bit, really. What takes a long time is the rendering process. I mean, I can spend 2 hours on videos, but spend 20 hours on the rendering. In fact, it's getting to the point now I'm going to need to buy a new hard drive just to keep up with the content we're filming, because it piles up, and if we start filming twice a week it's going to get a lot worse. So, but we are committed. We're committed to invest on this channel whenever we can, getting new clothing all the time and second-hand clothing for you guys. Oh, it's a bit high pitched there. What was all that about? No, I'm very low spoken. Yeah, I've come back again. I lost it then. So what are your favourite folk tales, and what do your favourite folk tales come from? I do like the folk tales from the Wise Men of Gotham. They're very, very funny. You know, Egil always kind of states at the beginning that he's very sorry for the people of Gotham. But I think if you're from Gotham Village, you'll probably love your folk tales, and you'll probably try to, spread them about as much as you can. So perhaps one day we are going to go to the village of Gotham. We'll probably be invited to open a garden fete one day, dressed as Vikings. Sure, we would love that. That's going to be fun. Do you have any ideas what we talk about? I don't know. Normally I'm full of ideas. I could demonstrate every hat I got. That could take 20 minutes. Where are they? I've got a massive bag of hats. I've got about 4 new hats on the go at the moment. So I've got to at some point finish off sewing, then start a new project. I'm about to start a project for an Iron Age cloak. I could demonstrate it if you're online, Tecto. A minute. So this is roughly a construction of a cloak I'm working on. This has been a bit Iron Agey. Now I've had this cloth for many years, given to me by a good friend. Well, I decided to cut it up the other week. I got a nice pair of trousers out of it, 2 hats and a pair of leg bindings. But I'm doing something different with this cloak, because I'm going to line it with some nice linen. But because they're both linen, it would have been very thin. So what I'm deciding to do is to put a layer of felt in the middle. Because they definitely had felt back in the day, in the Dark Ages. The material you can get hold of. So I'm going to hand sew that soon. It's going to be fun. I'll show you another thing I got recently. You've not really seen much on the channel. You may have seen a picture of it. This is my new tunic. This is my very posh one, which I'll be wearing on special occasions, because it's embroidered 18 times with these little motifs. I don't know if you can see that, but I thought that was very nice. That is a nice bit of wool. I'm saving that for the special occasions and milestones. And we also bought another item. Give me a second. Perhaps we could demonstrate how this works. So give me a minute. So This is how a Viking gets his bolt off. This is my seax to show that I'm a free man, and this is a Norwegian style. You can tell that from the handle, and I do love these handles because they've got such a good grip on them, and you're never going to lose your scram. I'm often seen in videos doing that in this. Egil kind of gets distracted when I do that in a video, but I'm going to demonstrate this new style of jacket we've got. Give me a second. We're going to go from one Eastern jacket to another. Normally when I take my jacket off, I normally got my silver armband on still, and I always get my arm caught in my sleeve. But I thought this was a very nice buy. Now we have made a video on buying kit in the Dark Ages. So this is a Kaftan style Eastern jacket. I think Tecto is going to love this. It's a bit big. This would definitely suit a bigger chap, but I did like it. So what do you think? It's nice herringbone wool. Has a light blue linen on the inside, and this would have been worn by the Varangian Guard, for example. So if I was a Norwegian Viking and I've gone down the Eastern European rivers to get to Turkey and Istanbul, or Constantinople as it was then called, and a lovely place and a lovely country to visit. I've been to Istanbul a few times. So this is roughly how you put this on. I'm still getting used to this one. It's going to be interesting to fight in it. So there's a more of a Kaftan style Viking coat for you. So what do you think of that? Let's look at your comments on it. I mean, we can show you all sorts. We've got basically all the equipment's in this room. So there's like 12 swords, 10 helmets, 4 or 5 shields, one lot of chainmail, or mail as I call it. Chainmail is Victorian. And those Victorians and relabelling things and giving Vikings horn helmets. There we go. I've still got 6 people watching, so I think we're going to make a video on this coat soon, or jacket. Is it a jacket or a coat? I've got to decide that. It's probably a coat. It makes you think how old that word is. But it's quite warm in here with this on. Because I live with a house with my old man, my father, and he's very, very old. It tends to be a very warm house. If you're used to old people have their houses very warm. You never get cold living in this house. Well, 8 people watching. So I'll just catch up with your comments. So Celtic God says, my favourite folk tales are the ones I hear around the fire with a bit of a drink and good friends nearby. Well, I hope one day you get to do that with you, because I'd be more than happy to sit down with a beer with you and we could tell folk tales. So Dale Chatfield soon. Dale Chatfield wool, yes. All of our items are made out of either wool or linen. Now you should never buy a tunic made from cotton because they didn't have cotton. And you do see a lot of tunics these days made from cotton. I think we've got one cotton tunic, which is a more modern theatre one, which Egil wears. I gave it to Egil. So Growl Wickhodson, that's an amazing tunic, brother, Bragi. The stitch work is fantastic, very fancy indeed. Yeah, I agree so. I think the embroidery is machine embroidered, but I wouldn't like to sit down and actually hand sew them. That would take a lot of hours. So, and Tecto Sagas, I have been tempted to leave the checked cloak lightweight for that blowing around summer look, laughs out loud. Yeah, I've still got to think of whether I'm going to put the inner layer of felt in that cloak or not. I can't decide at the moment. one hand I think, yes, I want a thicker cloak because I like a thicker cloak. But the other hand says, well, I like a lighter cloak. And we don't really have too many lighter cloaks. But I'm just thinking about the longevity of it. It's something I'm going to be thinking about for a while. And I think that's often a very good example of when you're sewing something, just don't look into it. You know, if you're going to embroider something, you're not quite certain what you're doing, just take your time. Study and ask questions, get some advice. You know, you can only cut material once. And don't forget, always measure twice and cut once. You know, it's simple advice, but it's good advice. So Tecto Savior says, want that coat, Bragi? Want it? Yeah, it would actually fit you and be very nice. It would be a nice evening coat around the house. So Dale Chatfield, group rate airfare to visit Bragi. Let's make it happen. And if you're flying on a Rolls-Royce engine, I've got engine parts I've made in them. I don't know how that make you feel. So yeah, this is good. So Tecto Sagas, coat is Middle English, probably from a French coat. So COTE, ultimate origin lost. Yeah. Because my Civil War jacket was a jacket and not a coat. So, and Celtic God says, could his town handle an invasion of barbarians? Oh yes, I think we could. You might knock the council into gear. I would like to see that. And we've got some pubs big enough as well. Inns. If you don't know what a pub is an inn. P-U-B, pub, inn. Ale house. And we do have some very nice beer in Derby. So Dale Chatfield, laugh out loud, let's find out. So where you're from, Dale? In the world, or indeed the 9 worlds. Can't forget the 9 worlds. Dale Chatfield, screw it, I need to build a boat anyway, laughed out loud. Well, we could all, if we all start building a longship each, we've got a making of an invasion. Where we're going to invade, I don't know. Perhaps we're going to invade Iceland. It's very popular and very pagan friendly. So, I mean, recently they built a new temple to Thor to honour the god. So I like that. And Tecto Sagas in the comment, Derby is the only city in the UK which has a name wholly derived from Norse. And Derby basically means deer town. When the Vikings came, they kicked out the Anglo-Saxons. Although I'd imagine the Anglo-Saxons, some would have stayed and become more Viking. They completely changed the name. Beforehand it would have been called Northworthy, North Market. But then the Vikings came and they wanted something completely new. And we got Derby, as we call it, Derby. I'm very proud we are from Derby indeed. And we're Mercians. We're not Southerners like from whcih. No, so you're from Ohio. Midgard. Yeah, that's cool. I don't think I've been to Ohio. No. I came close. I was going to go to Ohio, because I know you got both Union and Confederate troops from them. If I remember from my history. Good bunch of lads. I was in the 20th Maine and the 14th Brooklyn. But that's another war. And Dale Chatfield says, yes, but is the pub stocked well enough? Oh my God, we're not far from Burton, capital of beer in England and the world. We can get more beer. We'll just go to Burton. It did remind me of an event in the 90s I heard about, where the American Civil War Society went to a small town, and the town had 5 inns, 5 pubs, and it was a bank holiday weekend, and every night, the society was quite big in those days with 2,000 members, so on the first night every pub was drank dry, And so the landlord had to ring around and do emergency to get more beer the next day. And again, the next day on the Saturday, in the evening, within a couple of hours, the pubs were drunk dry again. So again, the landlords all got together and got more beer in, lorries and lorries worth. And on the Sunday, we drank them dry again. And for our corn, on the Monday, all the landlords got together and basically gave our site like £3,000 or £4,000, simply because they've had the best revenue of their whole lives. And they was very appreciative of it. So, the old reenactment story is that one. You pick them up after a while. So I'm trying to log in again. There we go. My number's got a 9 in it. There's a clue. So, yes. So Grove Rickardson. Let's see if we can drink all the pubs dry. Oh yes. Yes. I don't know how good I'll be telling folk tales when I'm really drunk. It might take me a long time to get a folk tale out. It could be a whole new theme of folk tales. Drunk folk tales with Bragi. I don't know how YouTube might like that. Anyway, Cultic God says in the comment, as in the words of Njal, spoke these words. Whoop, good people, lunch is over, time to go and make a mess of things. Well, have fun. Don't let the buggers drag you down, as my dad would say. And so he says, and Iceland is livable for 3 months a year. Or 3 months. Yeah, we're going to summer where it's nice, and then we'll leave, go somewhere nicer. We could be a fast invading army across the world, just going drinking place dry. You know, we'll go to one country, drink it dry, go to another one, you drink that dry. But it does make you think. That's another reason why I started this channel, because it all came about the question is, what would a Viking do in the modern world? And that was one of the main reasons why I started this channel, because I thought to myself, well, would a Viking go raiding today? Well, probably not. It's not very PC. I don't think NATO and the UN might like it. So, how do you invade as a Viking? So in my mind it was, well, create a YouTube channel, just as a Viking, because I'm a Viking, and invade the world with good content. And this is what we're doing. It's a Viking invasion of knowledge and laughter. Bragi's drunk tales. Yes, there's a very funny video out there called Drunk Historians. It's all these historians get together and then get drunk and argue about history. But if you think I'm funny drunk, Egil is 10 times more funnier when drunk. Trust me. We could no way possible get Egil on the channel drunk, because we wouldn't be able to cope with the laughter. It'd be too much for us, folks. You wouldn't be able to cope with it. It would be very funny. Yes, Grove Rickardson used to do a stream completely mashed. I very rarely get mashed. Rat-arsed is one way you may call it. I don't like hangovers. When you get old, I'm getting old now, hangovers are very bad. Drink lots of water. Dale Chatfield, well, Europe wouldn't be in the mess it's in now for certain. Well, yes. What a mess Europe's in. But then again, what a mess the whole world's in. But, you know, we can stay positive. I think we can make the world a better place. Yes, Growl Rickardson, try saying the Ingalinga saga trolleyed. I find it tough even when I'm sober. Yes. I don't know, perhaps doing folk tales drunk, we might, or the sagas, we might be able to pronounce them properly. I don't know. It'd be one for the 18 rated channel. As we have talked about in the past, if you guys wanted to see a more adult friendly version of a channel where we can swear, then we might do that in the future. It does open up a whole new ball game of content. But let's just see where we go. So Tecto Sagas says there's a large cause brewery at Burton, along with many excellent craft breweries. Bass beer was drunk in the Moulin Rouge, and bottles of it appears in Lautrec paintings, for example, e.g. Oh yeah, I mean, we're very lucky where we are because we are very close to like the whole capital in the world of beer, which is Burton. In fact, if you go to Burton, the catchphrase over Burton is hug beer. That's the local catchphrase, hug beer. I like to hug beer. I like to hug women too, but that's another thing. Anyway, moving on from that one quickly. Claimed to be on a oh, can't read that one. Unaccompanied minor refugee and a yearn will support. Well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I couldn't read unaccompanied. I can read it now. Yeah. Laugh out loud. It's funny because it's true. Yeah, very true indeed. It's mad, isn't it, when things start to appear true in your comments. But lovely too. How long have we been streaming for now, guys and girls? Oh look, over 2 hours. I don't know if we're going to beat the longest live stream, or let me just check the battery. Ah, we're still on 100%. Any more comments? Any more ideas or suggestions what we can talk about? That's a favourite beer of mine. Spitfire. It's made in Kent. Oh, there's something very nice about Kentish ale. It's one thing Southerners are good at. Making nice beer. That was a very long pause there. Oh, Sagas saying bye. Well, thank you for hanging around. I think I am going to call it quits soon because I want to get to bed. But I've thoroughly enjoyed this hangout. I know I have promised to do more in the future. I'm working with it on Egil. So, just let's see how it goes. If I can get Egil to commit to coming over a couple of times a week, then we can fit in a live stream once a week. At least, I think. I would do more myself, but some days I just feel a bit awkward about doing it on my own. I know, you shouldn't let things put you off. And Thomas Dale says, bye bye Tecto. Bye bye indeed. Have a good night's sleep, my friend. We'll catch you tomorrow. Not literally though. Oh, I was saying bye to Dale, Bragi. Oh, you're not going there. I'm confused now. Right, alright, sorry. Oh dear, bad Bragi. I think I need to sit down. So it's dull here. Oh good. I've got to get that. It's tuned in a minute. It's too hot now. It's very warm. There we go. I wonder if the heating's on, that's probably why. Right, so you're saying goodbye to Dale, so goodbye Dale. It's very nice to see you on this channel. And please subscribe. We don't often ask for subscribers. But if you guys can share the content, especially on Reddit. If you could share the content on Reddit, any of you guys, any of the videos, I would be very, very appreciative. Because I do know that Reddit's a very good place to share your content. And certainly the one viral video that we had, which was the langseax versus sax video, went viral because of something that happened on Reddit. Which I can never find the video or why it went viral. It's a mystery to me. But I do like a good mystery. As we say, that's another story. And now we're down to 3 people. I think one of them's me. So it could be me, you Thomas, and Tecto. We're like the 3 musketeers. I don't know which one I am. I'm Athos. I'm the one that likes to drink. Or is it Pathos? It's a great book. I do recommend the 3 Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. Or Dumas. Whatever his name is. He's French. Because at some point in the next 6 months I am working on becoming affiliated, so there will be a big change in the description where we're going to have a lot of affiliated links, mainly to the camera equipment, because let's face it, you know, hold on a second, because we don't often demonstrate and talk about the equipment, but I do highly recommend the Lumix series of cameras from Panasonic. Excellent camera. I'm really happy that I bought this in December, and it really has improved the content quality. So it makes sense to me to talk about some of the equipment in the future. It will be a new feature we're going to develop. It's just probably in a vlog talking about how to YouTube, because not only are we giving back in folktales, but I also want to give back in the sense that to help other YouTubers. So one of the things we are going to talk about is the equipment we use. I really do recommend this camera. You will see an affiliated link at some point in the next 6 months for this. It's not the most cheapest set to buy, because this is about £1,800 with the superb lens I got with it. But the reason why I bought the Lumax system was simply because of the amount of lenses I can use with it. So for instance, very recently I bought a lens adapter so I can fit and use Canon lenses. And because my father Magnar was into photography, he has lots of lenses, including Canon. So we're now gone from 2 lenses to about 12 lenses of use. And I'm about to buy a Nikon adapter, and that will give us another 10 to 12 more lenses, which we can use in the photography side of things on the channel. So watch out for that. I think it will be an interesting way for us to go in the future. It's something I'm not going to be too regular on, because I don't want to fundamentally change the channel too much as in what we do. And I do want it to always have that rawness of it. I mean, one thing you may not be aware of is that pretty much every video we film is not rehearsed. There's a bit of planning goes into it, but you can guarantee all the folk tales are pretty much done in one go and filmed in one go. And I do find that quite amazing. So he says I'm me, so that's bye from sorry to Dale. And then Tecto Sagas says, but having said that, I have a 6 AM meeting with some feral cats. Oh yes, my turn to feed them over the bank holiday. Think I ought to cheese it, so this time it really is a good night. Well, good night Tecto, and thank you for dropping in. And thank you for the wonderful comments you always put on our lovely videos. You truly are a fountain of knowledge, not a font of knowledge, as I often do say. There's no such thing as a font of knowledge. It's just me making it up. It's a braggy version. And Growl says, right my friends, I'm off to bed. Have an early shift to face tomorrow, but until the next time, whcih. Well, whcih and thank you thee in the language of the Anglo-Saxons. And you have a nice day at work tomorrow. Hope your weekend, your work goes quick, and you soon got a beer in your hand. And if you're not old enough to drink beer, don't drink beer. And Thomas Dale says, whcih, Grove and Tecto. Yeah, so been absolutely fabulous having you two guys in the stream. I'm glad we did this tonight. Certainly whenever we do a live stream, it always gives the channel a big boost. And I keep trying to point it across to Egil how we need to do more of them. I know I could have done more in the past, it's my fault as well, I'm sorry guys. You know, I'll try to do more for you. But I know you want to watch us and listen to us. So I often end these videos with a folk tale. So as we're heading to the point now where I will soon be going to bed myself, I think I'll tell you one more folk tale to end the video. That is when I can think of one to tell. Just give me a minute. There's that many folk tales in my head. I learnt a lot. I'll tell you one about the Devil's Ditch. You've seen this on the channel. And this is one setting the county in England, in Lincolnshire. It is a fairly flat county. And a lovely county to go to. And one day there was this man. He has no name in this tale. Not important. And this man, well, he was wanting to build a road between one place and another. Because often he would travel the road and he got fed up of going a long way round. I think you would too, wouldn't you? So, one day he was sitting outside of his longhouse when a stranger walked up. And this was no ordinary stranger, no. This stranger, well, he had a long beard and a cloak. And he looked at the stranger and he noticed something a bit strange about him, because he did not have shoes. This man had hooves. And the man went up to him, the stranger, to the farmer, and said, I've heard that you want to build a road between this place and another place. And the man said, yes, I do want to build a road, because I'm getting fed up of going a long way round and it's taking all day. He said, well, I can help you to build a road with magic. He said, what you must do when it's the full moon of this month, you must get your horse and you must start to ride from the place you want the road to start being built to the finish. But whatever you must do, you must not look back, because if you look back once, the road will go and will not be there. Well, at first, you know, the man, the farmer, he thought about this and he thought, well, this stranger was talking a load of rubbish. I think you would too, wouldn't you? But in the end, it became the day when it was a full moon, and he decided to ride out. For some reason, his instinct told him to do it. So he got his horse, and don't forget, in those days, in the Dark Ages, horses were a lot smaller. So he got on his horse, he put a blanket on it, had some reins, and he started to set off from where he wanted the road to begin to be built to where he wanted it to end. And he got on the horse and he started to ride. And he was riding along the horse, and he'd been riding for an hour. And he was getting towards the bit of the road where it was going to end. But his curiosity got to him, because all the time when he was riding the horse, he was thinking about what this man, the devil, said. That he must not, on no account, look back. So what do you think the horse rider did? So he was on a horse riding along with the road magically being made behind him. And he got towards the end and he could not resist but looking back. And he saw the road, but suddenly the road disappeared. And where the road was, there developed a long and big ditch. And the locals called this ditch the Devil's Ditch, for they said that the devil himself had this ditch made. Now, it's an interesting story, because the locals kept on trying to fill in this ditch in the daytime, and they all got the spades and the rakes and all the tools they had, and all kept trying to fill in the ditch. But at night time, the ditch would magically empty of everything it was filled with. And to this day, this ditch is still there. And this is very interesting. This is the builder theme. And we often reflect when we have an object in the land that's been built, in this case a ditch, and how the locals would explain it. And if you look at the early Anglo-Saxon maps of England, you'll see that the Saxons were very keen on building these long and big ditches. There was defence ditches, ditches to defend the territory. And so this is where this folk tale came from, the Devil's Ditch. It's a very interesting folk tale. I'm sure you must agree. This also reminds me of the folk tale of how the hedgehog ran the devil to death. As we're on the devil theme. And once upon a time there was a hedgehog. And he was walking along the road one day. And he met a stranger. And yet again, this was no ordinary stranger. No, this was the devil. And, well, you may be asking yourself, well, Bragi, how did the hedgehog know that this was the devil? Well, again, the devil had not shoes, but hooves. And, well, the hedgehog and the devil got talking. And they made a bet. The hedgehog said, well, I bet I could beat you in a race any day. And the devil, well, being a sucker for a bet, said, oh, I'll wager that bet. I'll bet I could win you in a race any time you want. And so the hedgehog said to the devil, well, tomorrow night you will meet me at the ditch over there, and we will race up and down the ditch until whoever meets and ends up first at the end of the ditch wins. And so the devil agreed to do this race. But the hedgehog was a cunning creature, and a wonderful creature indeed. And he knew that no way could he win racing the devil. For the devil, well, he's got big legs. And the hedgehog, well, he got little legs. And so the hedgehog went to all his little hedgehog friends and said, you must help me. You must help me to win this race against the devil. Because if you do not, the devil will win. And there's no way on earth do we want the devil winning. Now my father Magna, he would have said that the devil was actually Loki in the old gods coming down to Middle Earth. But as we say, that's another story. And so our hedgehog, the hero, he went to all his friends and they all agreed to take part. And all along the bank the hedgehogs placed themselves in secret, so that when the first hedgehog raced down, the second hedgehog would take over, until eventually the hedgehog will win the race. And this is what happened. The next day the devil, the cunning creature he is, met the hedgehog. And they both met at the top of the ditch. And on the marks of three they both set off racing. There's the devil running up and down the ditch and up the ditch and down the ditch. And there was the hedgehog rolling down as a ball, because hedgehogs can do that. They can roll themselves up in a ball, so it's all rolled up and they're going up the ditch, down the ditch and up the ditch. But when it was up the ditch, his friend took over. He was fresh and had more energy, until eventually the hedgehog won the race. And the devil, well, he was left behind, struggling to catch up. And the devil said, I do not know how you won that race, but you surely beat me. And again, the devil lost. Now, ironically, this reminds me of another folk tale about a tinker. Good things come in threes. Your third and last folk tale for this live stream. So, you may be asking yourself at home, as I try to log in, what on earth the 9 rules is a tinker, Bragi? Well, a tinker is a man who tinks. He repairs things. He may get a cauldron which is leaking and repair it. We'll call that tinkering. And one day, our old tinker, who lived in the village not far from Northworthy, was out. He had a tent. He had all his belongings in the tent, and often he would travel from site to site tinkering. And outside his tent he had a hearth. It was a cold day, and the tinker was around the hearth. His name was Dill the tinker. Keep him warm. And this stranger walked up. Oh, the tinker, well, he was not a daft man. He saw the stranger walked up and thought, well, what's all this about? I don't often get strangers coming to see me. And this stranger came up and said, oh, I'm very cold. and I need to warm up. Can I stand by your hearth? And, well, the tinker was a kind and honest man, and he said, yes, you can warm yourself up. And so the devil, who was having a walk around the planet Earth and Middle Earth, was warming himself up around the hearth. But then the tinker, being clever, he looked at the stranger and he noticed something about his shoes. He had none. Again, what do you think was there? Yes, hooves. He saw that this man had hooves. And well, from that very moment, our wise old tinker, he knew that this man, the stranger, was indeed the devil. And so, being very clever, he got a hot bar and put it in the hearth. As I pause myself, there we go. And he heated the bar up until it was red hot. And then he very quickly pulled the bar, in this case it's an axe, out of the hearth, and he chased the devil around the field until the devil knew he was beat and left. And again, for the third time, the devil was beat. And there we go. Some more bonus folk tales for you there. And it's always my pleasure to tell them for you. I do enjoy a good folk tale. You know that. So, I think at this point we are going to say goodbye soon, as we're down to one. It's just me now. So, I do thank you for watching. Now, as I pick up the sword of Egil Thorsson, if you have any comments you want to leave, then please leave them in a comment. I will reply. And if you're new to the channel, then I am Bragi, I am a Viking, and we tell folk tales. And please consider subscribing. When you subscribe to the channel, don't forget to click the notification bell. By doing that, you'll always be notified when we publish, when we live stream, and when we occasionally premiere our videos. Must do so again soon. And please share this on Reddit and our videos on Reddit. I would truly appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Thea. Thank you for watching. Oh, I can even play a sword.